there is a thick-ass release for Suspiria. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your old pal, CHH. And, man, it is a nice Sunday today. Well, that's what I'm recording this on Sunday. It may not be Sunday when this comes out. But shout out again to Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. This is so... I don't like Diet Dr. Pepper, but it's really good. So, guys, I've got a really cool piece of physical media history to show you guys today. Today, we're talking about one of the most legendary films of all time, Dario Argento's Suspiria. Now, let me give you just the quickest story before we get into this. And, of course, I will associate everything with releases of this. When I got into horror around 2009, I watched all the American classics, if you will. I'd watched the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th, of course. Then I started seeing films like Reanimator, Return of Living Dead, Fright Night, all those kind of mainstays, Lost Boys. I watched all those kinds of mainstay horror films that I just never saw when I was a kid. I saw some, but like The Fly, I saw when I was a kid, ruined my childhood. Child's Play, of course, I saw that when I was a kid. But there were other movies like I just mentioned that, no, I didn't see them. So my wife kind of did horror with me when we started dating, and she had actually done some research into Italian horror and learned about Dario Argento and a little bit of Fulci, but mostly Dario Argento, and she has said, I remember this film. I remember what it was. She watched a video of Alice Cooper because I had fallen in love with Alice Cooper's music and stuff at that time, a little bit earlier before that. So she was listening to Alice and watching an interview, and she just happened to see an interview with Alice where he was talking about his favorite horror movies. Alice's favorite horror movie at the time was Suspiria. Was in the video, he said that. And so she did some research and went online and bought this DVD of Suspiria. Blue Underground, 2-disc special edition. As far as I knew, this was all there was on DVD for Suspiria. But let me finish the story. In this story, I sat down and watched the film. This was 2011 or 12. And we popped the movie on. I was like, this sucks. They're not even talking. It's dubbed. What are you doing? What do you want me to watch this for? It's dubbed. It's not even the real voices. I was not ready. Plain and simple. And here's what I want to say for some of you that have watched some of these films that may be a little bit younger. Let's say you're a teenager, early 20s or something like that. Or maybe you're just now getting into this. Baby steps. It took me a few years to then, it took me really longer than that, really till about 2018 before I went back into Italian cinema and had an open mind, and I had watched some foreign films where I got used to subtitles, or I got used to dubs and things like that, where I went back and I was like, oh my God, Suspiria is one of the greatest horror films I've ever seen. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, I truly believe that Suspiria is one of the greatest horror films ever done. What's insane about Suspiria is the quality of the filming of it in super high definition looks incredible. It's better than stuff that comes out today. I mean that sincerely. Suspiria is just one of the most amazing looking movies I've ever seen. But anyway, I looked around, I did some research. I never knew that. I thought this was the only DVD that ever came out. I thought it was on VHS, and then it came out on DVD, and it was this right here, Blue Underground. Years went by. Suspiria got a 4K release from Synapse Films, and then it had another kind of Blu-ray that came out right before that. Now, that Blu-ray was a 2-disc, and it was also remastered from the negative as well. And I just thought it looked cooler as a release, and I was super happy with the picture quality. After getting that, I never decided to upgrade to the 4K, but that was this. Synapse Films, who then got the film, and they did this gorgeous 2-disc Blu-ray release, which was, like I said, remastered 4K restoration of the original uncut, uncensored Italian 35mm camera negative, exclusively done by Synapse. And it was approved by the director of photography, Luciano Tovoli. I love this release. I still love this release. And I remember hearing from some fans out there about Suspiria when the 4K came out, that they were not underwhelmed by the picture quality. Picture quality, no. But the 4K was just a straight-ahead, standard kind of 4K release. It was regular case like this, except black, obviously, with a slipcover. And we saw that what Synapse started doing after that was they would do these gorgeous collector's editions. Now, this right here is an example of that. Their Tenebrae release is sensational. It's a thick boy. You get the nice release. You get your booklet and stuff. I think people wanted that for Synapse, or for Suspiria. And I think they still want that, and I still think that Synapse should consider it a limited, nice release. Because I get it. I'm like a lot of you guys. I don't need every release to take up that much shelf space, but certain movies, it's like, come on. I mean, we're talking about Suspiria here. There is a thick-ass release for Suspiria. There is a thick-ass release for Suspiria. It was a week or so ago, I was doing a Rise and Fall of Anchor Bay show with some friends, the Dead Pit guys and Born to be Red. And we were going over some of the cool releases and things like that. And a release got shown on screen that I didn't know existed. As far as I knew, the only DVD release that I knew existed for Suspiria was this. Blue Underground, 2-disc special edition, which, mind you, is a great release. Oh no. Oh no. The thickest Anchor Bay release I've ever seen right here. And we're going to look at this thing and why I think this is the release that if you're a Suspiria fan, you need to have. This is what was considered like the chunky box versions for Anchor Bays back in the day. This is the Suspiria. Look how thick that is. Justin, you see how thick that is?
Damn, she thick.
Exactly. So, yeah. Let's get into this, guys. Here's a haunting fact about this release, too, that I learned doing that show with my friends. This was released on September 11th, 2001. Obviously, we had other things in our mind that day when this came out. Mind you, I didn't know who Dario Argento or Suspiria was, but other people obviously did. This release just feels right in the hands for Suspiria. Let's get a close-up shot of the artwork. Limited edition Dario Argento's Suspiria. DTS audio, digitally remastered, CHH for superior sound and picture quality. This was out of 60,000 copies. Think about that. Nowadays, we talk about, limited releases. That was considered limited in 2001. And genuinely limited, mind you. Genuinely limited. There wasn't no Netflix back then. This was 2001. Mark Cuban had just invented streaming a few years before that. So, let's see what all we get with this. As a matter of fact, let's look at the back real quick. Let's read what we got, then we'll go over everything. Widescreen presentation, 235:1, enhanced for 16:9, theatrical trailers, TV spots, radio spots, Demonia music video, poster and still gallery, talent bios, language English, Italian, French. And on disc 2, Suspiria 25th anniversary, an all-new 52-minute documentary. Co-writer and director Dario Argento, co-writer Daria Nicolodi, cinematographer Luciano Tovoli, Goblin. Stars Jessica Harper, that's the cast, the guys from Goblin, that's why I skipped their names. Claudio Simonetti, stars Jessica Harper, Stefani Cassini, and Udo Kier. Disc 3, original Goblin soundtrack CD. That's what really made me want to get this, was it actually had the Goblin score. Are you kidding me? So, let's actually look inside this thing and see what we have. Alright, so, we got some stuff to go over. Alright, the first thing we have, when you pull out the tab, is this. Your table of contents, chapter selection card, with really cool vintage art. Suspiria. Un film de Dario Argento. Next up, oh, beautiful booklet. Beautiful booklet. Look at that. That's the poster I'm the most familiar with Suspiria. The Ladies of the Academy. A brilliant film. It's just, I remember the day I saw this for the first time. It's kind of humbling to admit it, guys. I truly just wasn't ready for Italian cinema. I wasn't able to think critically, be open-minded. I was very close-minded at the time. All right, so a lot of writing in here. I'm sure it's great. I have not had the time to read this yet. Let's see if there's any more pictures. There's more pictures in here. I just was not open-minded at the time. Wasn't willing to give the film a chance. Wow. Oh, interviews. Jessica Harper interview in there. Fantastic. Nice. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's an actual interview in the back of this. And, yeah, it just took me years to go back and go through the film again. And, you know, I'm so glad I did because, you know, now I praise Suspiria and Dario Argento any chance I get. I think he's one of the greatest. This is actually still shrink-wrapped. And, yeah, we're going to undo this so we can look at it because I want you guys to see it. So let's see what we have. Now, we do have some wear and tear because of the shrink wrap being on for so long. It's actually not good to keep stuff shrink wrapped for so long. Oh my god, look at that. Now, what's cool about these is because these are 24 years old now, they're so vintage feeling and looking that these are cool. These cards. You know what I mean? Wow. That's an iconic shot right there. Absolutely iconic shot. Very, very cool. Look at that. This is a this is a collector's release. There we go. That's all of them. All right, so that is everything in the front page. And then here is our movie, Suspiria. I did actually pop this on, and I will say, you know, obviously this doesn't really cut it compared to the 4K or probably, or even the 2-disc Blu-ray, which I have, which is a 4K scan from the negative. But it's certainly a watchable way to enjoy. It's certainly a way to enjoy Suspiria. There's nothing wrong. It does not look bad. I'd give the picture quality on it like a 6 out of 10. Now look at that, 25th anniversary documentary and the Goblin CD. Are you kidding me? The Goblin CD. I wonder if this has reversible art. No, it does not. This is essentially a blueprint for what we consider really nice releases today. Movie on one disc, documentary, special features on another disc, the CD soundtrack. Let's see how damaged this CD is. Spick and span. God, I can go pop this in the GMC when I get out of here today, go to band practice. My God, guys, this is a release. This is what I recommend for the people that want to enjoy Suspiria today and have it in a really nice version, a very classy, high-end, almost Lifetime Achievement. I call these Lifetime Achievement Award releases where they deserve, you know, that sense of quality and that thickness. Like I said, that was considered the chunky boxes right here for Anchor Bay. Suspiria got a big one. So, while Synapse hasn't done a real nice collector's version for Suspiria like they did for Tenebrae, the Anchor Bay is, I think it's even still thicker than that. So what can I say, guys? So glad I did that show with the guys, because this release has become one of my favorite physical media releases, and certainly my favorite Anchor Bay release. I mean, this is just remarkable. This is a release for Suspiria. So, guys, I got this for under $20 on eBay. I was like, yeah, go on. You know, you can't beat that. So check out eBay for these guys. For Suspiria fans out there, I think you're really going to dig this release. Very, very well done by Anchor Bay. Some companies could take a lesson out of this. This is really, really nice, guys. So if you have this, let me know. And if not, like I said, I think a lot of you would get a kick out of this release. I know I am. And it certainly makes you proud to be a Suspiria fan with a release like this, with the documentary and stuff. And of course, you know, the newer releases have even better special features. But at the time, this was, you know, the cat's pajamas with all these cards. I mean, it's just like the bet releases we get today. Anchor Bay did it in 2001. So, there you have it. There you go, guys. Suspiria. This is one hell of a release, guys. Let me know what y'all think about this down below. God bless y'all. Have a great day. See y'all next time. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.